everybody is doing good this Friday. Welcome to Embroidery Happy Hour. For those of you new, hi, I'm Jeanette from Boricua Sewing and Crafts, and welcome to Embroidery Happy Hour. So, what are we going to be talking about today? Well, there was two topics that I was kind of playing around with, but I decided that this topic, I'm going to use it for next Friday, which is using fabric scraps for embroidery. The reason why I'm going to postpone that topic for next week is because I want to be able to have some samples for you guys. Right now, I only have like one, so I've been kind of making some stuff that I wanted to show you guys on what you can use fabric scraps for embroidery. So that's going to be a lot of fun for next week. So I'm pretty excited about that. But today on Friday, I decided let's talk a little bit about 7 of the top things that I find that embroidery businesses are failing because they're really not paying attention to 7 little details that would really help them to succeed. So, I'm decided, I'm going to do that this Friday. And then next week, let's talk about fabric scraps, okay? Because I really think that was some of the ideas I have are pretty kind of fun, but I want to have some samples to show you guys. So that's going to be next Friday, okay? So a couple of announcements before we get into this week's topic. I'm getting all tongue-tied over here. We're going to be hosting Christmas in July, the gift exchange, okay? So I already posted the link to the gift exchange at the Embroidery Happy Hour Adventures Facebook group. Oh my goodness, I don't know what's wrong with me today. Okay, on the link, you can click on that link. You can go ahead and register. I'm only going to have registration open for 7 days. Registration will be closed next Friday. Okay, so after next Friday, you won't be able to register because the names are going to be drawn on Saturday morning. Okay, so there are some rules that that are with the gift exchange. Okay, so I want to talk to you guys a little bit about that and also some important dates, just so that you guys can be aware of some of the things involved in this process for registering. Okay, now first let me tell you a little bit about it, and I'm going to try to do this kind of quickly so that way we can then get into the topic. And for those of you new, just know the first hour I like to talk about the topic, and then I chit chat with you guys for the remaining of the time. But just the announcement on the gift exchange. Okay, so as I said, registration started today. I have the link. It's in the Facebook Embroidery Happy Hour Adventures page. Okay, you go in there and you click on it and you can register. There are some important dates. All right, the registration is going to end by next Friday. Saturday is when all the names are going to be drawn. Now, and you have a whole month, okay, to go ahead and create your gift for that person that you're going to be assigned to. All the gifts should be mailed out by June 27th. All right. Now, the reason why I want all the gifts to be mailed out by June 27th is so that we can make sure that everyone has plenty of time to mail their stuff. Now, sometimes people run a little late. Sometimes people will mail their items out maybe 1 or 2 days late after the mail out date, and that's okay. The whole goal is to make sure that everyone receives their gifts before the Show and Tell Embroidery Happy Hour Live, which is going to be hosted on July 18th. And that is where, if you participated in the gift exchange, if you want, you can come on the live with me and you can post you go on the live with me, and what you do is you introduce yourself and you also show off that fabulous gift that you got from someone special. So it's a really fun thing. I've been doing this now for I think about 4 years now. It's been pretty successful. But let me talk to you guys a little bit about the rules that I got going on. Okay, now every year when I host this, I always have one worry. Okay, and the worry is that the folks that register do what they're supposed to do, which is actually create a gift and mail it out to the person that they're assigned. If everyone does that, it all works out great because that means that everyone gave a gift and they got a gift. Okay. However, though, I always worry that someone's going to register and they're not going to mail out their gift. And I really don't want anyone out there part of this gift exchange to be the one that didn't receive anything. That's always something that I worry about. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to make sure that everyone that registered is someone that I know is going to be engaged in the process and is going to really, do what they're supposed to do, or at least I hope so. Okay, so on the link, once you register, you have to make sure that you put your mailing address on there and make sure you put your email address. I will be sending an email to all the participants. Okay, the email you must reply to. If I don't receive a reply from the email, then what's going to happen is I am going to remove you from participating in the gift exchange, for the simple fact that if you don't reply, that kind of gives me a little indication that maybe you're not that serious about doing this. And I really don't want, anyone to like not receive anything. That means a lot to me, because the whole purpose of doing this is to make everyone really enjoy it and have a good time. And I want everyone to feel really special, because it really is special when you receive a gift from someone that honestly you don't even know this person, but they took the time to hand make something for you. Okay, so it's really important that everyone that registers for this gift exchange actually does what they're supposed to do, which is to participate by creating something special and also mailing it out. It can be something very simple. I'm not talking about extravagant gifts. Okay, I mean, if you like to sew, if you like to make cups or a coffee mug or a mug rug or in the hoop project, or if you like to do embroidery, or you like to do the Cricut, you like your sublimation, you like knitting, whatever your craft is, just do it, go for it. And just know that what you're doing is you're creating a gift so that someone else throughout the US is going to smile when they open that up. So just wanted to point that out, that I am going to be sending out an email to all of the participants to make sure that you are committed and that you're okay, you are excited about it, you're going to join and whatever. And then we're just going to go from there. Okay, so guys, registration is going to end next Friday, so please make sure that you look that up, read the rules. If you have any questions about the rules or anything like that, now's the time to ask me. I have been doing this, like I said, for 4 years now, and we always have a great turnout, and it's always been a really, really good, good event for everyone. Everyone seems to really enjoy it. Okay, so I know that everybody's asking the question and stuff. So what have you been doing, Jeanette, since you've retired? Well, as you guys know, I announced last week I actually retired. I no longer work for the federal government. I am a free bird, and I have to tell you that it feels different. Okay, it really, really does feel different. I just, I'm kind of like, wow, I don't have to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning. So it has been a trip. Okay, so but I am really excited because now I can really focus on the channel, and I can really focus on sewing and doing all that stuff. So I am going to definitely be having more videos posted for you guys. I have been videotaping all week. I just have to do some editing. So starting tonight, after tomorrow morning, I will be editing videos and stuff like that and start posting them out for you guys. So now, with further ado, let's talk about these 7 things that I find that really people that want to run an embroidery business don't really pay attention to. And sometimes they kind of run into a hiccup when they don't. And some of this stuff, I'm going to tell you, some of this stuff that I'm sharing with you guys is really stuff that I myself have really learned from experience. I never owned a business before. I've always done like little craft things here and there and stuff like that, little side hustles and everything. But this is the time that I actually decided that I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to do a full-blown, legit, real business, right? And there are certain things that I kind of learned along the way. And I wanted to share these because these are things that if you don't really pay attention to, you could end up failing. You really can. And I do see that some businesses do fail for that. because they really don't practice some of these things. So I got 7 little areas that I want you guys to think about, because if you are watching me, chances are that you probably want to start an embroidery business. So, I don't want to see you guys fail. I really love seeing everybody succeed. I think there is enough work for everyone in this world. So let's get to it. Now, let's talk about the first one. Okay, defining the type of service that you want to provide. Okay, embroidery is so big. There are so many different things and areas that you can embroider on. I remember when I first started to do embroidery, I was like, oh, I want to do elegant dinner napkins. Then I said, I want to embroider pillows. Then I said, you know what? I'm going to embroider hats. Then I said, I'm going to do shirts. Then I came out and said, I'm going to do tablecloths. And it's like anything I could get my hands on and put in a hoop and put it under the machine. I was like, I'm going to embroider that, and I'm going to sell that, and that's going to be a bestseller, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. I was all over the place. Okay. I was a mess. And usually what happens is when you are all over the place, then you really just don't have a direction, right? So what's going to happen is you're going to be running an embroidery business, but your business isn't really going to be too focused on one area. And what's going to happen is you're going to have a really hard time finding clientele because you're all over the place, right? So, if you guys have been watching me for some time, you guys have might remember that I do sometimes talk about finding your niche, right? You have to come out and say, what is the area that I really want to focus on? And then you have to start to hone in as to what it is that you want your business to be about. I'll give you an example. Sometimes you can have folks that like doing embroidery, but they really love to embroider children's wear, right? So what they do is they say, I want to focus on like baby shower gifts. I want to, newborn gifts, gifts for children, baby, all that kind of stuff. So that is a really big market, right? And a lot of people, when they go to baby showers, they're always looking for like unique gifts for them to give at the shower. They want their gift to stand out among all the rest, right? So what folks end up doing is they like to look for personalized baby gifts. Now, you can personalize baby bibs. You can do their baby gowns. You can do baby, I think they have the little caps. You can also do baby bags for the mom, the little diaper bag. You can personalize that. They have baby blankets. There are just so many different things that you can embroider for children, especially for newborns. And, you can tackle that. You can come on and say, okay, I want to really do baby items. And you know what? Even when you're talking about all this stuff that I just mentioned, think a little further, guys. Think about this. You can create baby baskets for baby showers. Okay? You can get baskets relatively cheap. You can probably go to like yard sales. You can end up going to like maybe a thrift shop, and you'll find woven those little they look like little Easter baskets and stuff. You can buy that stuff. You can get the teddy bears and you can embroider the teddy bears' ears. Or better yet, you can do like what my mother-in-law did. And let me show you a sample of that, because I have one for my son that my mother-in-law gave me when my son was born. And it's right here. Let me give you guys an idea, because I have it right here. And look at this. You could buy a whole bunch of teddy bears, right? And let's say the teddy bears are already stuffed. You can't, it's very difficult for you to embroider, right? Well, do this. Get a bib. Look at what they did. This is a bib. Okay, let me take it off. It's just a bib. And it's old. This is old. Carlito's going to turn 25 this year. So look, this is a bib. Okay, put his name, the birth date that he was born, and it was embroidered. This was embroidered. Okay, so what my mother-in-law did was she ordered this bear, right? And what the bear it just came with its own little clothes and everything like that. And then, I got it and I was like, oh, what a cute gift. And this was way before I was even embroidering myself. So, yeah, so you just take a bib and you just tie it around the neck of the teddy bear. Okay. And then guess what? Put this into the baby basket. That's it. You can put this in a baby basket, and then what you can do is you can embroider a bunch of onesies, maybe a nice little soft um, baby quilt and stuff, and put little baby goodies in there and stuff. And then you just put it all nicely in the basket. Put that plastic around the basket with a nice little bow. Perfect gift. So if you want to run like an embroidery business, right, and you say, I want to specialize in gift, gift giving for baby showers, newborns, stuff like that, bingo, this would be a good seller. I'm telling you, this would be hot. Okay. And you can do for boys, you can do for girls, you can do for twins and stuff like that. Nowadays, baby, some of these women they pop out 3, 4, 5 kids at a time, So anyway, so nice gift. Okay. So the thing is, so let's go back to it. Okay. But what I was saying was, sometimes what happens is because you want to do embroidery, but you really don't know the area that you want to do the embroidery in. What happens is you might end up failing for the simple fact that you don't know where you want to home your focus in. So you really have to know what direction you want to go to. A lot of times too, the direction that you want to go to is going to depend on your skill set. Okay. That is one thing that I truly am a firm believer of. Trust me. Okay. A lot of times people say, oh, embroidery is easy, just press a button. No, it's not. Okay. It is not like that. Now, does the machine do a lot of work? Yeah, but there is a lot of things that you better do and know beforehand before pressing that button in order for you to really be successful in running your embroidery business, because the quality of the work is really, really, really important. Okay. So if you don't really take care of your skill set and learn embroidery like you're supposed to, you're going to fail. You're not going to do well. Your embroidery is not going to look as good as other embroiderers, and customers notice that. Okay. So you really want to make sure that you home in on that. All right. So that is one way that a lot of times people that want to start an embroidery business don't end up succeeding, because they really don't know where to home their talents. Okay. And when you don't do that, then what happens is you're all over the place, and then you're going to miss the mark. Okay. Now, the second thing, obtaining the right type of machinery and the supplies, all right, that is required to do what you want to do. Again, once you know what you want to do and what your focus of your business is going to be, knowing what type of machinery and supplies that you require is going to be a little bit easier. However, just know that just because you started in one direction doesn't mean that that's the only direction that you're going to go into. Okay. When I started to do embroidery, my direction was dinner napkins. I don't know why. Okay. Because I'm going to be honest, I don't even use dinner napkins at home. We use paper napkins. All right. But there have been times when we had entertained at home, and I do like to dress up the table, and I like everything to be, really nice and warming. And I always like my guests to feel like, welcomed. So one of the things that I always used to do, because we haven't been entertaining people for a long, long time yet, ever since the pandemic, now that I think about it. But anyway, before the pandemic and all that craziness started, what I used to do was I actually used to get wine glasses, and I used to etch their names in the wine glass. All right. And what I used to do also was I would have cloth dinner napkins at the table, and I would have my guest's initial embroidered on the dinner napkin. So that way the dinner napkin kind of served like a place where people were supposed to sit around the table, because I used to kind of look at who would be best to sit next to who, because I knew, people would know the other person or the conversations or whatever, right? So anyway, I that's one of the things that I would do. So I love doing dinner napkins, okay? And I also love giving them as gifts. So what I used to do is I would give everybody a set for with their initial on it and stuff. And I ended up selling them. People loved the dinner napkins, and I ended up selling it. However, though, as my skill set grew, I wanted to do more than just dinner napkins, okay? And I wanted to explore other avenues, and I wanted to do blankets, and then I started to do hats, and I started to do shirts and all that kind of stuff. So my business started to grow into other directions other than what I was originally focused on. So when you're looking at what type of machinery and supplies you need, always keep in mind that you may want to focus on one area today, but you may end up expanding in the near future. So make sure that you check out your budget, okay? And also just know that you want to make sure that your the machine that you buy, okay, it's going to grow with you. Now, sometimes that can't be possible, all right, because I started small, guys, okay, because I didn't have money falling out of the sky, all right. And I ain't gonna lie, when I bought my SC 1900, I was like, oh my God, that's expensive, because when I purchased it, and I even know that the price has gone up from now. When I purchased the SC 1900, it was like $1,000 back then. All right. And I felt guilty buying that machine. It really did. I was just like, oh my God, that's $1,000. And because I looked at it as $1,000 that's coming out of my household. And we could be, using that for other stuff, taking out of our savings and stuff. It was just like that. It was really bad. I'm pretty bad at spending money on myself, I gotta tell you. My husband, thankfully, he pushes me. He actually pushes me and stuff. So I bought the SC 1900, and all I kept thinking was, I gotta do something with this machine. I gotta make sure that I got my money's worth. When the pandemic hit, I started sewing a lot of face masks and everything, and I made quite a bit of money with the face masks. And I even started to embroider the face masks for people. So the SC 1900 is a sewing / embroidery machine. So I was able to use both functions, and I made pretty good money. I made all that money back, the $1,000 and some. Then I said, oh, this is really cool. And my husband, was like, oh, you're doing pretty good on that. And I said, yeah. Then I went over to to look for a multi-needle machine, and I saw the 6-needle. When a 6-needle machine was like $11,000, guys. So if you think I was falling out of my chair for spending $1,000 on an SC 1900, you could only imagine, okay, me looking at a price tag of $11,000. I was just like, oh no, I can't spend that much. I was like, that's a car. I could get a Toyota Corolla with that or something like that. That's the stuff that went through my mind. But thankfully, my husband came out and said, just get it. Get it. And one of the things that he told me, which is really what really sold me on getting it, was he was like, Jeanette, if it doesn't work out, we can always sell the machine to someone else and get some of that money back. So it's not a total loss. So when he told me that, I said, okay, because I felt guilty. I was like, oh my God, my family's going to go under. I'm spending $11,000 on a machine. Well, bought a machine, made so much money off of that, got the second machine, made money. Now I got 3 machines. So, go figure, right? So you gotta make sure that once you know where you're going with your business and stuff like that, you want to come out and make sure you have the right machinery. Don't feel like you have to go out and get a $30,000, $40,000 machine, okay? And if your budget only allows for a single needle machine, that's fine. Then use a single needle machine, okay? Do what you can at the moment. You will eventually grow and expand, okay? I have a girlfriend that she has, right now, she bought an SC 1900, okay? She used to have the I think it was the PE 600, and it was just the 4x4 hoop, and all she does is baby onesies. That's all she does. She loves to embroider baby onesies. She does not have any interest in doing children's shirts. She doesn't want to do the baby blankets or anything like that, or even the bibs. Okay, she'll do a bib here or there, but her thing is all baby onesies. That's all she wants to do. She loves doing the appliques and all that stuff, and she uses the 4x4 hoop. She did buy the SC 1900 because she figured, just in case I want to do a little extra, a larger embroidery, design, she would have the extra space. But her thing is just baby onesies. And it could be you could end up being like her, where you already have an idea, and it doesn't matter how successful you are. You don't have any plans of going beyond that focus that you have, right? She just wants to do the baby onesies. That's her thing. That's all she wants to do, and that's all she's focused on. She doesn't care about anything else. It's that business serves her well. So you could end up being like that. And if that's the case, then you don't really have to worry about getting extra equipment and stuff like that. However, though, if you're someone kind of similar, like where I fell in, I started with small little projects, doing small little things. But then as the word got out from where I live that I do in more embroidery, I also work on more difficult projects, and I also work with other small business owners. I have them all the time. They come to me, they drop off bulks of shirts, and I take their logo and I'm embroidering on polo shirts, t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, jackets, hats, all the time. All the time. That's all I do and stuff. So for me, having more than one multi-unit machine kind of suits my purposes, because I do a lot of bulk orders and stuff. But if you're not doing bulk orders, if you're just doing little sales here and there, then you know what? I mean, you could just keep it simple, really, truly, but make sure that you understand what it is that you want to do, so that when you're out there looking for the right machine, you're getting the machine for your purpose. But I always do like to tell people, I know you want to focus on your purpose, but also look at the future as well, because you may want to one day expand, but it's not something that you have to do right away. Just because you bought that machine doesn't mean you're stuck. You can always resell that machine and upgrade, or you can just get an additional machine. Okay. But the thing is, you got to make sure you have the right machinery to get you to where it is that you want to go. All right. The other thing that you want to do, which a lot of people don't do, is the cost of your business. All right. You got to make sure that you are tracking what you are spending and how much this business is costing you. All right. If you don't, you're going to have problems. You really are. You're not going to have a good time when you do your taxes, because you're not going to be knowing how much your expenses are and stuff like that. You got to make sure that you have that. Okay. No one likes to do the administrative side of it. I hate it. I mean, my sister could tell you, when she comes over here, sometimes she sees my book, she's always like, you're a mess. Okay. I mean, I hate it. All right. But I have to force myself. I have to keep track of all my expenses. I have to keep track of how much, it costs for me to service all my machines, how much time it takes for me to run these machines for orders and all that kind of good stuff. And, if you don't know how much you're spending in running your business, then what's going to happen is you're not going to be able to figure out if you're profiting at all. Okay. So you got to make sure that you keep straight with all your numbers. Now, talking about numbers, not only do you have to know how much you got to spend, how much you are spending in running your business, you also want to make sure that you know exactly how much you need to price your items so that you can become profitable. All right. Pricing is so important. All right. That is something that a lot of people get wrong. People still come out and say, hey, how much should I be charging people for the number of stitches, or should I be charging for time? And I have so many videos out there that talks about pricing different things that you should be considering when you are trying to set up your pricing structure. But whatever pricing structure you set up, the one thing that I do advise you is make sure that when you are setting your price, you're setting it so that it's fair, not just for the customer, but for you as well. Do not forget you. I see too many people out there that go ahead and they underprice the work. All right. And because they just don't know how to do it, or they just want to make that sale. And what they don't realize is when you are underpricing so much, what happens is two things. All right. First of all, you just gypped yourself because now you're working for free. Okay. The second thing that's happening is you are sending a message out there to folks. Okay. You're letting them know that you are the dollar store of embroidery. Okay. You get that? Okay. So they're saying, what you're telling them is, oh, I'm the discounted embroiderer. Okay. I'm the one that can do all your embroidery real dirt cheap. Okay. So that way you can get the embroidery that you want at a very, very low discounted price. And I'm going to make absolutely no money. Okay. I'm just going to run my embroidery business. I'm going to pay all the bills out of my pocket and I'm going to make no money. So be careful, guys. Seriously, be very, very careful. Okay. I mean, I always have the motto that my whole thing is I'm not focused on robbing people. Okay. I don't set prices so that I could feel that a customer is being robbed. And I have no problem having the conversation with a customer. Okay. I have no problem. And I'm going to tell you a story. Last week, there was a lady, she had dress shirts, okay, that she wanted to get embroidered with the initials on the cuff, okay, and she asked the price. My minimum charge to embroider an item on the machine is $15, okay. It is only 3 little small letters. It's not even a lot, okay, but the thing is, I have a minimum charge. Now, she looked on the Etsy shop and she was like, I see all this stuff that's like 20, but she's charging me 15. So she asked me, she goes, can I ask about the pricing? And I said, absolutely, yes. And I like to be transparent to my customers. And I told her, I said, the reason why it's $15 is because you're only asking for one item to be embroidered. However, if you have a bulk order, I can lower that price. And she was like, well, how much would it be to embroider, more than, one shirt with the initials on here? And I told her a bulk order is a minimum of 5. Okay. And I said, if it's, more than 5 shirts, $8 a shirt. I told $8. I mean, think about it. I mean, the stitch literally only took 2 minutes. Okay. It's just really the stabilizer and stuff like that. And I have a way where I can save money on the sticky stabilizer. So I had that conversation with her and I let her know. I said, if you bring more shirts, but if you just bring me one, I have to turn on the machine. I have to set up the machine and everything for that. Just one shirt. That takes time's money. And my minimum charge is 15. So when she found out that, she was like, oh, well, is it okay if I bring more shirts? I was like, absolutely, yes. So she ended up bringing like 15 shirts. And I was like, okay. So she's happy because she got all her 15 shirts nicely embroidered for her son with the initials on the sleeve. And I was able to get a bigger order. You know what I'm saying? So she felt like she got the best bang for her buck. And I did a pretty good profit as well. So, it kind of works out, right? So, but the thing is, you have to know how much you're spending in your business. And you also have to know how you need to price your items, because you want to do it so that you're here to make money. Remember, a business is to make money. It's not to lose money. But, some people set their prices really sky high. I mean, everybody's different, right? To me, I just feel like for me, I like my customers to feel comfortable with me, and I like to feel comfortable with them. So I have no problem explaining prices and why I price things a certain way and how can I help them to get the best bang for their buck. And I don't mind having that conversation with them. And it became a win-win situation for the both of us. So it's just something to think about. The other thing also is you got to make sure that you're registering your business. Okay, make sure you have your LLC. Make sure you open up a business account. Make sure you get business insurance and all that good stuff. If you don't know all the things that you need to run a business, one of the things I highly recommend that you do, you could go to a community college by you, or sometimes you could even do a YouTube video just like this one and look up, how to run a business, and you'll get lots of advice of different ways, different things that you need to do to run a business, like getting an LLC and getting your business insurance and making sure that you open up a business account and all that good stuff. Make sure you have someone that does your taxes, that is really good at not only doing your personal taxes but your business taxes as well. Make sure that you have accounting software so that you can track all your sales, that you are registered with your state, and and you have a way to collect that sales tax and to pay that sales tax. Okay. There's just so many things. That's part of the administration process of it. And that is the part that I hate, but you got to do it. You just got to do it. That's the way it is, right? All right. So I already talked about a couple of things. Okay. I talked about defining what it is that you really want to do, in your embroidery. That there is a big area that you can do different types of embroidery on. After that, you want to make sure that you got the right equipment. You want to make sure you have the right type of supplies. You also want to make sure how much it's going to cost you to run that business. All right, how much you're spending on electricity and all that stuff. And a tax attorney can actually help. Not a tax attorney, but I mean, my friend's a tax attorney, but you can have a tax person help you figure out all that good stuff, like how much you're using and all that stuff. So make sure you keep track of the records of how much square footage in your house you're using to run the business. Make sure that you know how much you're paying per month for your electric bill, your internet, and all that good stuff. Okay, because there is a formula that they have that they will use in order to calculate how much usage from your home is costing you to run that business. All right. You also got to make sure you're registering your business. You want to make sure you're doing everything legal and everything. You don't want any issues with the IRS or anything like that. And the other thing, the pricing structure. All right. You want to make sure that you not only know how much it's going to cost to run that business, but how you're going to price your items as well. All right. Now, the other thing is how you're going to stock up on materials. Now, a lot of people get really screwed up on this one, and I'm going to tell you why. Because what they do is they overbuy. And when you overbuy, one of the things you don't realize is when you are buying blanks. So let's say that you are running this business, right? And you say, oh, I'm going to do really good and whatever, and which you are, okay? You're going to think positive here. You're going to do really good and everything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy 500 of these teddy bears and 500 of these bibs and all that stuff. So I'm going to get 250 of the girls, 250 of the boys. I wouldn't do that. And I'll tell you why, okay? Because what happens is that is a lot of money spent on blanks. And you don't know if you are moving those blanks. Now, I'm going to tell you, I sell kitchen towels. They sell like hotcakes, but I do not keep 50 or 60 blanks of kitchen towels in my home, okay? You have to learn how to inventory your supplies correctly. Supplies that are sitting on your shelf and collecting dust is wasted money. You have just wasted money, okay? That's an expense and you're not recuperating it, okay? And sometimes you have to know trends, all right? Sometimes what happens is what's hot today is not hot tomorrow. So you got to be really careful when you are buying blanks and stuff. You may think, oh, I'm going to do a bunch of, I'll give you an example, the birthday shirts, okay? Everybody was really big on creating all these birthday shirts for the kids. Well, you know what? They were nice and all, but it became very, very saturated. And there were other ways to make these birthday shirts. Think about it. A birthday shirt is really a shirt that a kid's going to wear maybe at a birthday party, or maybe a couple of times more throughout the year, right? It's just one shirt, okay? What happens is parents are probably not going to want to spend a lot of money on that one shirt. So what they're going to do is they're going to search for a birthday shirt, but they're going to look for a lot of different alternatives. And different alternatives to make that shirt will provide different price ranges. For example, if you end up having an embroidered shirt, it's going to be at one type of a price. And then if you have a shirt that's done with sublimation ink, okay, or direct to fabric, it's going to be at another price, okay? So folks may come out and say, I just need a shirt, because I know me, okay? I'm a penny pincher. So if Cardito was turning 1 or 2 and stuff like that, of course I want him to have a cute shirt, but I'm not willing to spend like $40, $50 for a shirt. If I see a cute shirt that will be perfect for that day, and I can get it for $19.99, you best believe Cardito's going to be wearing that $19.99 shirt, or that $14.99 shirt, or the $9.99 shirt, whatever works, right? So just something to keep in mind, okay? You know, the supplies, you have to make sure that when you buy these supplies, you know, you are buying at knowing that you're going to get rid of them, okay? There have been times when I'm selling the kitchen towels like hotcakes, okay? Can't even keep them on the shelf, okay? But there are other times when they're there for quite some time, because Mother's Day is not here. Christmas isn't here. Father's Day is not here. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes, you know, you may end up having to, you know, just cut back on the supplies, okay? This is something that I find that's pretty kind of weird too. I find that people that sometimes run a business, they're afraid of these 2 words: sold out. Why? I don't get it. Sold out is good. To me, sold out means good. You know what that means? That means that all the blanks you purchased are gone. They're gone. You sold them, okay? You have nothing on the shelf. Nothing. That's perfect. That to me is what you should be aiming for. You want to be sold out. You want to. Who wants to buy blanks and then stare at them? What's that going to do for you? Nothing. The blank is purchased so that you can do something to it and turn it into a profit. That's what it's all about. So I don't know what it is, but I find that sometimes people, what they do is they overbuy. And then when I ask, well, why did you buy 500 shirts? Well, I didn't want to be sold out. Why? Why is sold out a bad thing? Sold out's a good thing. That's what you should be focusing on. That's what you should want. You should want to be sold out, because sold out meant that you bought all these blanks at one price and you turned it around. You made a profit on every single one. So, guys, when it comes to stocking up on materials, okay, especially the blanks, be careful. Be careful, because what could happen is you can turn it into a home warehouse, and that's not what you want to do, okay? So just a little word of caution. So you gotta really think about the stock up of your materials. Now I want to take this on the other end, okay? There are some materials that you best believe you never, ever want to be sold out on. And you know what that is? The materials that you need to create the product. I learned that the real hard way. And boy, did I learn. I learned so good that will never happen to me again. And you know what I ran out of? Bobbin thread. It was during the Christmas holidays, okay, 2 years ago, and I was on my last bobbin. The sales were coming in. And then guess what happened? we had a shortage of bobbins. Amazon didn't have them. All Stitch didn't have them. I was going crazy looking for the bobbins for my multi-needle machines, and I had orders. I am telling you, talk about stress. I was like, oh my God, this is bad. This is really bad. So I thankfully went to the sewing shop in Manassas, and Susie had one box. And I know I overpaid for that box because I told her, I said I would have paid probably like $200 for that box. Okay. So I got that box from her. You know, I didn't pay 200. She didn't charge me 200, but I bought the box from her, and I was able to finish all the orders with that box of bobbins. Okay. Because she had a box of 100. Thank goodness, you know. So I was able to finish my orders. But I'm going to tell you something. Boy, did I learn. I learned. So there are some supplies you want to be sold out on, like blanks and stuff like that. But the supplies that you need to create your items, the embroidery thread, make sure that you do inventory of your stuff, okay? That you actually look at the colors that you use the most. Make sure that you have enough thread in your shop of those colors. All right, your bobbins, your stabilizers, your water soluble stabilizer. Okay, cutaway, tear away. You know, just those are the things you really don't want to mess up on. You always got to have them in stock. Always, 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 always. I can't stress that enough. Because boy, was I in trouble. I mean, she saved me. I don't know what I would have did if I could not find the bobbins. I would have had to cancel all those orders. I would have lost a lot of money. Okay. And I was just like, oh my God, it was really, really bad. I mean, I was down to 2 bobbins. There is no way that those 2 bobbins were going to help me finish all those orders that I had. So stocking up on materials, very, very, very important. Seriously. I mean, I can't stress that enough. But you got to know when you can overbuy and when you shouldn't overbuy. Okay. I have to tell you, I love it when I'm sold out. I love it. It puts a smile on my face because I'm like, oh, Jeanette, you did good. You did good. That means that you went and you bought 100 baby blankets and you sold all of them. You sold all of them. And then I'm like, okay, so I'll just be sold out for a while until I can order or receive my new bulk order. Okay. And that works for me. I love it. However, though, run out of bobbins or a color that I need for embroidery or something like that. Oh, Jeanette is very unhappy. I am very, very unhappy. I am walking around this room pissed off and at myself for not doing what I should be doing, which is paying attention to my inventory. Okay. And I know someone had asked me to do a video on inventory, and I do have that coming up. That's going to be coming up soon because I already filmed it and stuff so that I can show you guys how I actually do inventory and stuff. So what I did was I kind of did inventory of some supplies, and I kind of showed what I buy in bulk, what I don't buy in bulk, and some of the mistakes that I made and everything like that. So I just have to edit that video and stuff, and I'm hoping to have that out on the channel real soon and stuff like that. Okay, the last one. Because what time is it? Oh, it's almost 9 o'clock. Okay, the last one. Creating an online presence. Got something in my throat now. Okay, hold on. Basically, what I mean by creating an online presence, marketing. Okay. Marketing is important. Okay. And that is something that I plan on going to school to learn about. Okay. There's a community college by me, and I want to start taking some classes on social media and all that kind of stuff. There are so many different social media platforms out there. We got TikTok, we got the Twitter, we got the Facebook and all that stuff. I myself am not using all of them. I'm familiar with them, and I think I've created accounts. I just got to clean up my act, and I myself have to start marketing myself a little bit better. However, though, I do have a pretty good online presence with the my community where I live, and also with my Etsy shop, and with the channel as well. But I know I could do a lot better, and I know that if I was to go ahead and market myself a little bit better, my sales would probably go higher. Okay. I know that for a fact. But right now, I'm pretty content with where I'm at, but I know I have areas where I have to improve. And thankfully, now that I'm retired, I have actually can go ahead and start focusing and working harder on my own business and stuff. One of the things that I did this week, because this is my first week as a retiree, and one of the things that I did was I reread all my journals. So if you guys don't know, every year I buy a book, okay? And in the book is where I kind of do a little bit of my embroidery. I call it embroidery journals. And what I do is that's where I jot down all my ideas, things that I want to do, videos, just little thoughts about the business that has popped in my mind. I always write it down in the notebook. And sometimes I get to accomplish them. And other times what happens is I just didn't have enough time because I was working full time and I really couldn't get to it. So I kept all my journals. And this whole week, what I did was I went through all of them and I highlighted certain things and, ideas that I had that I just never had a chance to work on. And all I kept thinking was, now it's time for me to get all those ideas together and just make them happen, make it a reality. So I already have a whole list of videos that I want to shoot. Okay. So, and I've already started. Okay. So I made a list of all the videos that I want to shoot. I made a list of all the different types of embroidery projects that I want to try. And if they become successful, of course, they're going to end up becoming videos so that I can show you guys how I did it. I thought about, different topics of embroidery. One of the things that I had on that list is that I know that there is an sewing embroidery school that's in Texas. It's located in Texas. And what they do is they teach you how to fix embroidery machines, how to fix them and how to maintain them. So what they do is they help you to you take a machine apart and you rebuild that machine from scratch and you learn how to repair and all that kind of stuff. So I know that that's about a week of school, and it's all the way in Texas. And what I'm going to be doing is I want to save my money. And what I'm going to do is I am going to go to Texas and I want to register for that class. And I actually want to take that class. I want to learn how to take these machines apart and put them back together, because that way, if I am embroidering something and something breaks, right, I can try to go in there and I can fix it myself and not have to start panicking and bothering Justin and going, oh my God, can you please come now? I have an order and I can't fix it, right? And I figured at the same time, I can probably maybe shoot a couple of videos of how to fix certain things, certain easy fixes on the machines if they break as well. So I thought that would be something that, would help me when I run my business. And then at the same time, I can help you guys in case something happens with your machine, right? I do know, I have some videos, like when you have bird nesting, how to fix that, how to clean your machine, how to run maintenance on the machine. But I want to do more stuff. You know what I mean? So I want to know how to fix sewing machines and also how to fix the embroidery machines. So that is one of the things that I plan on doing. Okay. So, I want to do that so that I can, really kind of grow and stuff. And that's the other thing too. When you're running an embroidery business and stuff, not only do you really want to perfect how to embroider, you really have to learn your machine and all the functionality and how to take care of it and maintain it and repair it and all that stuff. So that was one of the things that I had in the journal. And I was like, God, I want to go that. I still want to go to that sewing school. So my plan is that this time by next year, I would have already gone. I did not tell myself this date you're gonna go, but I said, okay, Jeanette, that's your plan. So you're gonna. I am planning on calling that school next week because I want to get more information, like on the pricing and all that stuff. Because I don't know anybody in Texas. I don't have family or friends out there. So I know that I'm going to be solo. So I'll be flying over there. I'll be staying in a hotel. So I know I'm going to have to pay for a flight. I'm going to have to pay for a hotel, food, food, lodging. I'll probably have to get a rental car, just so I could go out there to the school. And I know that's probably going to cost a little bit. So right now, my focus is to save as much as I possibly can. So whatever profit I make on my Etsy, whatever profit I make on my YouTube channel, and all that kind of stuff, is going straight into my business account. I'm not touching it. So I'm already told myself, okay, Jeanette, let's see how far I can run this business as is, okay, without buying additional supplies. So with bobbins, threads, and all that stuff, I'm pretty good at. My blanks, running a little low on it, but I'm going to let it sell out. Okay, so when my blanks sell out, then I will think, okay, I'll have to buy some more. But until then, I'm going to use what I have. I'm going to ride this out because my whole goal is to try to spend as little as possible in running this business right now, because I want to really save all my money so that I can do that. And once I take that class, I know all that's going to do is lift my confidence. And I know I'm going to be like, oh God, something happened, not a problem. Because I mean, one of the things that always amazes me is when Justin comes over here and he does the schedule maintenance on all my machines. He strips my machines naked. I mean, naked. All the plastic, off they go, off with the plastic. Okay. And it's like, all you see are the wires and everything. And he takes his vacuum and he cleans all the lint, and and then he's oiling it and stuff like that. And he knows how to change the knife, because sometimes I'll every time he comes, I always tell him, can you please put brand new knives on there? Because knives go dull, right? So I don't want to wait for the knife to break or to go completely dull. So I always tell him, I don't mind, I'll pay for it. Just replace my knives, and make sure they're nicely oiled and everything, and vacuumed and well maintained. And if he finds any issues with any of the sensors or anything, I always tell him, please just repair it on the spot, and I'm good. And then he does that with the Juki machine. He does that with my sergers, my SC1900, all my machines. He services all 7 machines that I have in here, which I have 2 sewing machines, 2 sergers, and 3 embroidery multi-needle machines. So that's a lot of machines. So, I still want to use his services, because he's the expert. But the thing is, I want to be knowledgeable too. Because there might be times that I may not get a hold of him. And then what goes through my mind too is, what happens if Justin goes away? What happens if Justin now all of a sudden says, I want to retire. I don't want to fix machines anymore, right? Because we all get there, right? We're all going to have the time when we hang it up, right? So I don't want to be, he hangs it up and then I'm screwed. I'm like, oh man, now I don't have someone to fix my machines. And these machines are really, really heavy. Okay. They're big, they're heavy. They're on the 2nd floor of my house. I'm old. I'm up there. My husband's up there. He has a lot of back issues. I do not want to take these machines down all those stairs, put it in a car to then drive it to a sewing shop. I really prefer to have someone come here and work on my machines, and I'll pay the extra. I'm good with that and stuff. So that to me is important and stuff. So that's why I figured this is good. I Now that I am retired, I can just call the school, find out where they're gonna, how much the pricing is and all that good information. And then I'm going to just, circle when I feel I'm going to have all the money. And then once I have the money all put together, I actually want to take that trip down there. So um, I don't know if I'll drive or I'll fly. Um, I'll probably do whatever's cheaper. I probably, well, with the way planes are going nowadays, you're lucky if you land. So I don't know. I may end up driving, because yeah, it doesn't look like those yeah. I don't know. I might end up driving. Okay, so I'll need some gas money. Let's just say that, because I'll probably drive my dad's car because my mom gave me my dad's Volkswagen Passat. So if I drive my Tesla, I won't have to worry about that because it's all electric and I don't pay at the supercharger because I'm grandfathered in. I'm one of the first folks that purchased the Tesla. So I use the supercharger for free. So I don't know. We'll see. I may end up taking the Tesla, so that way I save money or whatever. But I still got to pay for a hotel, the course, and all that good stuff and everything. And yeah, because I want to make sure that that I know how to work my machines and stuff. So this is the time to do it, guys. This is the time that I can really, really do it. And I think I'm excited about it. So that was one of the things that I did this whole week. Okay, so this whole week, what I did was I looked at all my journals, which was a lot of fun to do. Okay, because I was like thinking, oh my God, I didn't know I thought about that, and stuff. And there were times also when I wrote a little bit about what was going on in the day, like if I had a bad day or, and it's really funny because I wrote a lot about being tired, and which I was kind of like, I don't know how the hell I did it. Sometimes I would only have like 1 or 2, 3 hours of sleep because I had all these bulk orders, had to work the bulk orders, and I had to go to work and all that kind of stuff. I don't know how the hell I did it, but I did. I did it. And now that I'm retired, all I have to do is just focus on this world. And that's what I want to do. So going through those journals was pretty neat because I got to, see the ideas that I had back then, things that I want to try that I didn't have an opportunity to try. And then one of the things that I did was I created a summary. As I was reading all of the journals, I was taking a yellow highlighter and I highlighted the things that I was kind of like, okay, let's do that. Let's do these videos. Yeah, I like that. Like one year I did the 12 days of Christmas, right? And I wanted to do it again last year, but it's just that I got so busy I really wasn't able to do it. Well, now I can do it again, right? So I was like, I would love to do the 12 days of Christmas again, where every week I post a video where you guys can do an embroidery or sewing craft during the holiday season so that you can give that to your friends and family, making little gift cards or bookmarks, little simple gifts and stuff. So I really liked that. It was a lot of work when I did it, but I wasn't able to do it the second year. But then I figured, you know what? I can do it now. I can actually do this now. So why not? So that was one of the things that I highlighted and stuff. There were a lot of different designs that I wanted to try on dinner napkins and stuff like that. Doing different appliques, different types of embroidery styles and stuff. So I highlighted all of that and everything. And I was like, oh, that's going to be interesting. I'm going to try different projects and stuff. And if they come out really good, why not? One of the things that I was doing today, just messing around with my serger, right? Because I have these 2 sergers, which I use, but I didn't use them as often as I wanted to use them. And I had scrap fabrics. So for you guys that don't think that Jeanette doesn't make mistakes, oh yeah, I make them. Okay, so anyway, As you guys know, I sell the kitchen towels. Well, there have been times when a kitchen towel here and there didn't really come out the way it was supposed to, okay? Because I made a mistake. I either forgot to put the stabilizer in, or I forgot to change the color of the thread, or I ended up with a bird's nest. Who knows? I just screwed up. So anyway, I had to redo the kitchen towel. So one of the things that I do is I don't throw away the whole kitchen towel. What I do is I cut out the part that had the embroidery, throw that out, and then I end up with the rest of the kitchen towel, right? So this is a good piece, right? So I was like, I'll figure it out. I'll use something. Well, you know what I was doing today with this? I also have fabric scraps. Okay, lots of fabric scraps and stuff. Didn't know what to do with them. They're not large enough where I can make a bag or something out of it. But what I did was I took the fabric scraps, okay, and I took this. So what I did was I went on my serger and I was playing around with it, and look. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna make a makeup pad removers, right? And stuff. So I thought this is a good idea to use scrap fabrics. And one of the things that I like about this is my towel side. Here's my pretty side, right? I can take this, wet this or whatever, put the soap on it to wash my face and stuff, get all the makeup off or whatever. And then what I can do is when I'm done with it, throw it in the laundry basket. And then when I'm doing my laundry, wash this with the rest of my laundry basket, and you can keep reusing this. Okay, so you have reusable makeup pad removers. Okay, and what I started doing was playing around with the different sizes. See, so here's one that's a little bit bigger in case you want something that's a little bit bigger and stuff. And then I started making the circles a little bit bigger and stuff. And in some of them, I made them small. And as you can see in some of this, I don't know what the hell happened to this circle, okay? But I'm going to tell you something. Sewing a circle on a serger is not exactly very easy, okay? Because you got to actually get used to it. You gotta really turn that wrist. So I'm going to, I haven't filmed doing this. I have plenty more to do. But I was figuring this would also make a cute gift, right? You take your little scraps, and what you do is just make about a couple of them, right? And then just wrap a little ribbon around it and stuff, and you can give it to your girlfriends, and you can say, hey, I made some reusable makeup removers for you. And they could use this. They can use this to wash their face, like I said, and reuse it and stuff. And this, they make you little knick-knack gifts, right? And if you have Christmas fabric, okay, that it's just scraps of Christmas fabrics, do it with the Christmas, and you can give it to them as Christmas gifts. Just something to think about, But anyway, yeah, so this is what I've been playing with today. I've been practicing. As you can see, my circles are getting better, okay? Because I have been practicing, all right? So, they're getting a little bit better, and, you can make them in different sizes and stuff. You can tell where in some of these circles where I started, because you can see the little thing. But then as time went on, and I started to practice more and more, they got a little bit better, a little more rounder and stuff. But I think these are cute little knick-knack gifts that you could give people and stuff like that. So this is what I was doing today and stuff, because one of the things that I was doing also is I'm reorganizing my room, because I do want to go to Florida soon, and I want to bring my mom back with me. So I'm trying to reorganize the room and everything. So and I'm gonna get, and I don't know, I didn't tell you guys, I decided to get a Murphy bed, okay, a wall bed, and I'm getting it built, and it's gonna be in the sewing room, and I thought that was the perfect solution, so that when my mom visits or someone visits me, it's like the bed is up on the wall, and then I can have my sewing room. And then when someone comes to visit me, I can just take all the sewing stuff that's on a cart with wheels on it, and then I can just bring it all in here, and then I can just bring down the bed, and then they have a nice place to sleep. So, but the wall bed is not going to be ready. It's not going to be done till the 23rd of June. So I'm like debating going back and forth. I was talking to my mom about it because I want her to come, but then at the same time, I don't have an extra bed. So I wanted the wall bed to be done before she comes because, she's 87 years old. I'm not going to put my mom on an air mattress. Even though mom tells me, oh, I'll sleep anywhere. I can sleep on the sofa. I don't care. But I'm like, no, mom, that's your mom. Mom, you don't do that to mom. You don't put mom on the floor. So I have a hard time with that, so I don't know. We'll figure something out. And I know they make some really nice air mattresses and all that kind of stuff and everything, but I'm pretty particular about mom, and I don't want mom on the floor, so I don't know. We'll figure something out, even if I have to like pay for a hotel or something like that, and I'll drop her off at the hotel so she could go to bed, and then I'll pick her up in the morning. I'll do something. I'll figure something out, and everything. So anyway, got off a topic and stuff, but I did mention the 7. I did mention the 7 and stuff, and I hope you guys found that information useful. I really do, because I know that some folks, are really interested in embroidery and all that kind of stuff, and trying to, at least, if not like a full-time business or whatever, but at least kind of like as a side hustle and all that kind of stuff. I will tell you, embroidery is very, very, very profitable, and it's something that is, for me, a lot of fun to do. Just this weekend, I got like one-off orders, which normally I would turn down because of the bulk orders that I have. But I will tell you, because I am no longer working, it was like someone needed their golf bag, the pocket of their golf bag, to be embroidered, and he called me, and I was like, well, what do you need? And when he told me that he just wanted his name on it, I was like, just bring it over, no problem. And I was able to get that done for him pretty quickly, and stuff. And then someone needed a swim towel to be embroidered, and I was able to do that pretty quickly as well, and still run my bulk orders at the same time. So, and I don't know, I feel like, now I'm able to work at a better pace, okay, because now I have more time available. All that work that I was doing at night, I can finally do it during the day. I have been like still getting up early, not at 3 o'clock in the morning, but I have been getting up at around like 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. Get up, take my shower, feel refreshed, have my coffee, walk mellow. And then after I walk mellow, one of the things that I noticed too is when I walk mellow, it's different. When I walk mellow now, I don't feel like I'm rushing him. It's like, hurry up and, you can water the tree. Hurry up and water the tree. Now it's like, lift up that leg, boy, and just water away. I'm like, so like, take your time. Take your time. If you want to smell that tree, smell that tree. You want to lift the leg, lift the leg. It's fine. I don't feel pressured anymore. Before it was like, hurry up, I got to make the bus, and hurry up, I got to do this. Hurry up, I got to, get back or whatever. Now it's like, I feel like I can really like just enjoy the moments. I really feel I can take in those moments. So now it's like when I get up in the morning and I take my shower and I get dressed, I have my cup of coffee. I'm actually not, I don't feel like I'm rushing to drink my coffee. I feel like I'm relaxed while I'm drinking my coffee. It's like I get to sit in the front of my house because I have a porch. I get to sit out there and just have my coffee and just take in the fresh air and just enjoy the time. And then I just like, after I'm done, it's like I put the leash on Mellow. I get to walk around the neighborhood. I don't feel like I have to rush walking through the neighborhood. I feel like, he could sniff wherever he wants to sniff. He can lift that leg wherever he wants to lift. I mean, I'm just enjoying my time with him. And I think Mellow even notices it too, because our walks are no longer quick, 15, 20-minute walks. Now it's like I'll be out for a whole hour just walking around the neighborhood and just enjoying the moments with him, you know. But you guys that don't know, Mello actually turned 5 years old yesterday. So yeah, so my pup is a big pup. He's an actual adult adult dog, you know. So he's 5 years old, and I got to enjoy the whole day with him yesterday, and that was really really nice. And I like when I come back after walking him, I turn on my machines. I get to actually, I do the regular maintenance, but I'm more slower. I get to enjoy oiling my machine. I get to enjoy changing the needles. I get to clean them out and just take my time, not rush cleaning them out, but actually take my time cleaning the dust out of that. And then I can just process the orders one at a time and they get done. And if someone calls me, it's like, sure, just bring your item over. I have time because I feel more relaxed. I really do. I don't feel that pressure anymore, because I had the type of day job where I couldn't mix this job with that job. I really had to stay focused on that day job. Now, I will say this, and for sure, I do miss it. I do miss my job because I loved what I did. I truly did. I love the people and I love what I did. I am one of those fortunate people that graduated college and was able to do what they really truly loved. I had a very, very satisfying career. It was adventurous. It was, it was awesome. And I miss it. I do miss it. But I do know that everything in life has a beginning and an end. And I love change. And that is one of the things why I love my career, because my environment changed constantly. But it's like now I want to change in my life. As much as I loved what I did, and I feel so blessed, so fortunate to have had that opportunity. The only thing that I didn't like was it did kind of isolated me from family and sometimes friends. But now that I'm retired, I feel like now's my opportunity to get closer with my family. So I am like super excited about going back to Florida, and I'm hoping to go back to Florida within a week. Okay, that's my plan. That hopefully I'll be on that road next week. So I'm hoping that maybe next Friday you probably will see me in Florida. That's what I'm hoping. We'll see. I already took the suitcase out and I started packing some stuff, So I am dying to go there. I cannot wait to see my sister. I cannot wait to see my mom. I'm gonna take Mello with me for the ride. It's gonna be really, really good because I get to it's quality time. That's what it is. So I'm planning on taking the bingo game with me. I plan on taking some games so we can have family game night. I'm like super excited. I can't wait. I can't wait to actually go there. This weekend, for sure, I did not want to hit the road because it was Memorial Day weekend. So I know there's going to be a lot of traffic. So I just want to go when everybody's at work and all that kind of stuff. So I'm sure that by next week, everything will be done, hopefully. If not, then when is more? I think, see, and you know what's so funny too? What's good about being retired is you don't even keep track of time. You don't even know what date anything is. So hold on, I'm gonna look and so it'll be done. Memorial Day weekend should be done because Memorial Day weekend is this weekend. So I plan on probably hitting the road maybe at Wednesday or Thursday, something like that. And then and then Memorial Day's gone. Yeah, so it should be a nice ride, hopefully. And I'm going to enjoy the ride going to Florida. I'm going to be able to take my time going there because there's no rush. There's no rush, right? I'm not rushing. So, I'm on my time. So I'm just like, I can enjoy that drive. And I'm planning on taking my dad's car because I know my mom would love to see my dad's car again. So I'm just going to enjoy that ride and stuff. And I need to put some miles on my car. I really do, because my dad's car is just sitting there. And even though I do drive it around the block and I go to the store here and there, whatever, it doesn't even have 10,000 miles on it. It's like, oh my God. So I do have to put some miles on it and stuff. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to drive my dad's car to Florida and stuff. So anyway, I'm gonna go down the chat because oh God, it's 9:30 and I'm over here chatting away and stuff. So yeah, so let me go down the chat and say hi to you guys and see if you guys have any questions and stuff. Hey Bob, you are first again. Hey Tina, how are you? I see Deborah. How are you? Hey Becky, how you doing? And I forgot to post Bob because you know he was first. And there goes Tina. There you got Debbie. Debbie. Then you got Becky. Hey SK, how are you? Bob, love you. Yeah, Bob puts a lot of great posts, and I appreciate his posts too. He does. He puts some good ones on there. Hey Robin, how are you? Hey Beth, how you doing? I see Jenny in the house. How are you? Hey L. William Masters, how you doing? I see Rivera in the house too. EKR, how are you? How are you doing? Pearls and Angela and Stitches, how are you doing? Hey Bernardino, how are you? Can't forget Bossman Bello. I know. And Bossman Bello is sleeping. That old dog. He's 5 years old. Oh my goodness. Hey crafty Puerto Rican, how you doing? Let's see who else we got here. We got Nancy. How you doing? I'm so proud of her. I don't know if you guys know, she has a morning show, 8:00 every day, Monday through Friday. And she's done some really nice stuff. She was showing paper piecing quilting, which got my curious soul going. Now I'm like, oh, I wonder if I could do that. And it looked like it was easy, but I don't know. I'm probably gonna bother her when I go to Florida, and I'm gonna be watching her do that and stuff because that looked like a lot of fun. So I'm gonna definitely, be watching her and stuff. So hey, I see Iris. How are you? How you doing? Happy Friday. Hi, Capuchina, how you doing? I don't know if I jacked up your name. If I did, I'm sorry. Hey Pearl, how are you? Hey McFake, how you doing? And I see right here, let's see. Michelle, how are you? See, first week of retirement, how you feel? It's so relaxed. So relaxed. It feels weird though. I am going to tell you, it feels weird. I actually feel like, oh my God, I don't have a job. But I do have a job. I have this job, and this job has been really keeping me busy. It just really does feel good to just have one job. I will say that. That's like pretty cool. So happy and rested. I am. I really am, Rob. Iris. Oh my God. I do. I feel so like I feel like I can breathe and I can take my time and all that stuff. Oh my goodness. Oh, it feels really good. And it felt so good even just to make these. It felt so good, guys, because I was like, I can relax. I can relax. I can, I was playing around with my serger, which the serger I was using was this one. That's the Airflow 3000. I was using that one, and I will tell you, I was just like, oh my God, this feels so freaking good. I loved it. I was like, oh, awesome. It's like, it feels good. It does. Oh my goodness. That's why I tell people, retire. My advice, if you can financially retire as early as possible, just do it. Do it. Life is short. You only have one ride on this earth. I'm telling you, people, only one ride. I don't see people coming back. I don't. Once they're gone, they're gone. Okay, so make it last. Enjoy the ride. That's what I tell people. Enjoy it. And I'll tell you, my husband kind of looks at me because I kind of tell him, I say, everyone wants to live a long time. I know I do. Who doesn't, right? But I always tell them, when I reflect on my life and things that I've done and I've experienced and everything, I kind of tell Frank, I could get hit by a truck and I'm okay, because I can honestly say I have done the best I could and I've enjoyed every moment. And I'm still enjoying every moment. So, but now it's in a different way, right? And it's like I'm just having fun. I just want to enjoy every day. Every day I wake up and it's like, and even if you had a sucky day yesterday, if you had a sucky day yesterday, it passed. So what? It sucked. Big deal. Today's a new day. So that's how I always see it. It's a new day. So just get up and keep going. Do your best every day and just take it in and breathe it and enjoy it. I'm telling you. And that's how I even take it with embroidery. It's like, you make a mistake, no big deal, learn from it. So that way, the next time you try the embroidery, to try that design or whatever, it's, just keep at it. I mean, it's like, I don't know. I just love retirement. I do. I really do. It feels good to have one job. That's all I can say. It really does. I can just focus on it. Let's see. Who else is here? Pretty Eyes, how are you doing? Everyone's asking, how does it feel? It feels good. It feels really, really, really good. McFate, today is a great day. I started my day with Nancy, ended with Jeanette. Oh my goodness. Yeah, because Nancy has her 8:00 morning show. Yep, she does. Hey, the happy housewife. Hello, how are you? Welcome. Let's see. Oh, hey, Debbie. Thank you so much. Oh, okay. Debbie White. She's asked, how do you VSVP? Okay. She is asking about the gift exchange. You have to be a member of the Embroidery Happy Hour Adventures Facebook group. Okay. The link to the Facebook group is going to be in the video description down below. Okay. And once you click on that, make sure you join. Now, I do not allow new Facebook accounts to join the Facebook group. Okay. The reason why I don't is because there is a lot of scamming that is going on. So I always want to make sure that the folks that are part of that Facebook group are, they're legit accounts, because sometimes you're going to see that an account was only created for like a couple of weeks or a month or 2 months or 6 months. I already know what that's all about. Okay. It's people trying to say they're going to digitize for folks and all that kind of stuff. And then they take people's money and they never send them anything. That's another reason why I don't like it when people are asking for digitizing work and stuff like that. I just tell people, go to the guide of the Facebook group, because that is the list of digitizers that I know I personally have worked with, and I know they're good. Okay. And they're not going to rob you and stuff like that. So there's just so much scamming out there. So I try my best to try to make this a safe place for us. Okay. That's probably why the group is now, I think, at 4,000 members. Okay. I'm not really interested in it's just like my embroidery. I don't care about the quantity. I care about the quality. So to me, what's important is the quality of the information that's being shared in that Facebook group, and that people are there to support one another. I don't care about having 20, 50,000, 100,000 members. It's not that. I don't care about that. What I care about is that I'm building a community of folks that care about one another and really support each other, and in learning how to embroider and become better at it and stuff. So so I always I'm always watching as folks have joined the group, and I make sure that if I see that it's a new account that looks like a scam or something like that, I will remove it. So just but you have to be part of the Facebook group in order for you get the link. It's on there. And then also don't forget, I do know that there are several people already that have joined the exchange. I have not sent out an email yet, but I will be sending out an email to everybody to make sure that your email's legit and all that stuff, okay? And I want a response. So if you don't respond to my email, I will remove you from the gift exchange, all right? Because I need people to be responsive. I know, like, the last time we did a gift exchange, the person that drew my name was a scammer. So I never got a gift. Okay, I gave out a gift, but I never got one. But I don't care about the gift that I gave out, because I gave that out to someone that was legit. But there was someone that was a scammer that got into the gift exchange. And fortunately, thank God for me, that it was me, because I didn't, I don't care if it's me, but I do care if it's someone else, because the reason why people are joining this is so that they can not only make someone else smile, but for someone to make them smile too. So, and I get my smiles, anyway. So, but yeah, so that's why I'm trying to be as extra careful as I possibly can with this gift exchange and stuff. But Debbie, you will find that link in the Facebook group, okay? And it's going to be Christmas in July and stuff. So, yeah. Hey, Mariana. Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Crafty Puerto Rico. I know you're good. You join all the time and stuff, and you always, I know you're good. Oh, Jenny said, you definitely look right. I said, I am. It feels really good. It feels good to go to bed and then just wake up when your eyes pop open. But I still set up my alarm. I am very, I don't have to get up at 3 a.m. anymore, because I don't have to get dressed and all that kind of stuff and make a bus or catch a flight or anything like that. All I have to do is just get up, take a shower, have my coffee, relax a little bit, and put a leash on Mello and go for that walk. So, yeah, Mello has really been enjoying me being home, because now his walks have been a little extra, because we walk everywhere now. No one's rushing, and stuff. Hey, Debbie. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, okay. Hey, Diella. How are you doing? Oh, I clicked the VLC. It went to Esther. I also went to, I don't see it. Is there another person who asked the same question? Debbie, what you do is on Facebook, send me a message then. I'll send you a link, okay? I'll send you a link. Carlito shares my husband's birthday, September 13th. Yep, Carlito's birthday. Yeah, he turns 25 this year. Oh my goodness. It wasn't on Esther. I don't know then, because I'm not doing this one. Oh, you're not going to do it? Well, maybe you're going to do the Christmas one then. And I do it twice a year. Okay, guys. I used to only do it during the Christmas holidays, but I am going to do it during, July and Christmas as well. It's just that sometimes people are really busy during the Christmas holidays, and they prefer to just do it in July and stuff. Where's the best place to order? I ordered some from Etsy. Definitely not the quality I was expecting. Where can I order the white dinner napkins? I need 200. I do have a link of a place that I do order from Etsy, and they are of very good quality. Those are the ones that I use for the weddings. If you look up wedding dinner napkins on my channel, you will see where I order the dinner napkins from on Etsy. If I remember correctly, because I haven't ordered it in a while, because I ordered so many, because they do go kind of fast. I think it's called Minecraft. I think that's the name of the Etsy shop, and the quality was pretty good. Another thing that I would recommend, Miss Rivera, is try Amazon. Amazon sometimes has the dinner napkins. The only thing with the Amazon ones is there are a lot of vendors out there and it's different quality. But one of the things that I do like is that when you buy it, if it's not of good quality and stuff like that, if you're, if you're an Amazon Prime member, you can always ship them back. You can always just send them back and stuff like that. But and they could be a little bit more on the expensive because you said you need 200. So if you need 200, what I would do is I would order it from Minecraft in Etsy. And if you look up the wedding dinner napkins that I did, which were, oh, do I have it here? No, I think I took it in the other room. The ones that I showed, I think I showed you guys last week. Yeah, I have it in the other room. I don't have it here. No. Oh, okay. Anyway, thought I had it here, but I don't. I have it in the other room. So anyway, but last week I showed you guys the dinner napkin that I did. I think it's Minecraft, something like that and stuff. If not, ask in the Facebook group, and if I see a question, I'll go ahead and I'll post the link to the Etsy shop that I bought them from. Because you could buy about like 200, 500 of them, or they sell them in like packs of 50, 100, and I think 200. How many did I buy? I think I bought 200 or 500, something like that, from them. And yeah. But they are really, really good. I don't know. See, you're saying 20 by 20, though. Now that I think about it, I think the ones I have is 18 by 18. I'll have to check and stuff. But there are some from Etsy. You ordered some, definitely not the quality I was expecting. Yeah. So, I mean, that's it. But I know that's where I get them from. And I know they were okay for the folks for the weddings that I've done and stuff. So they were happy with that quality also. But another thing too, Miss Rivera, think about this also. When it comes, if you're doing it for weddings, usually for weddings they have an initial. Usually it's the last name, or sometimes they take the bride and the groom's initial and put it together. Be conscientious of the design that they want, because sometimes a dinner napkin can be a little bit on the thin side. And if the embroidery design is too dense, it could be kind of problematic. Okay, so it's very similar like when I embroider on handkerchiefs. Okay, you kind of have to watch it because handkerchiefs can be kind of thin, so you always have to be careful of the type of embroidery that you put on it as well and stuff. So yeah. Let's see. Oh, what do you think of the buy? I have no knowledge of those machines and stuff. What I would do, Big Fake, is this is what I would do if I were you. Okay, if that's a machine that you're interested in, is I would do exactly. Oh, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate that. Thank you, Robin. This is what I would do, Miss McFay. Check YouTube, do a search on that embroidery machine on YouTube. See if you look for good and bad. Okay, look for both. But at the same time, always remember this. Sometimes people give a bad review because of human error. Sometimes they just don't understand the machine. Maybe they didn't work the machine correctly or something like that. Okay, so maybe, think about that when you're hearing people talk about bad things, because there have been lots of times when I have seen people like Rakoba, for instance. I see some people that they come on, they say, oh, that's a terrible machine. Well, you know what? I actually know people that have that machine and they love it. They do very well with their machine. Okay. It just took them a little while for them to understand how to work the machine and understand it, so but I'm not familiar with that. I have brother machines. I've always worked with brother machines. I've looked at other brands. But the thing is, I don't know. I don't have time to learn a new machine really. So, and it's just easier for me to get my hands on these machines because I already have a supplier. So all I have to do is pick up the phone and say, hey, I need another machine, and I would prefer to just do that so I could keep the business going and stuff. But if you're looking for your first multi-needle machine, there's so many out there. And all of the machines are different. They all do embroidery, but they all have different types of functions and ways that they do the embroidery. So you want to make sure you do your homework. So if you're looking at that machine because you seem to be interested in it, one of the things that I recommend that you do is oh, what's this? It says show comments on stage. Oh, comments take a set. Oh, okay. All right. I don't see that. Okay. I'm gonna turn that on. It's a beta thing. I don't know. But anyway, I'm sorry. I'm using StreamYard. And it looked like it had popped up that there's a new function in StreamYard. I don't know. So, oh yeah, look at that. Look, you guys can see the comments down there. Oh my God, that is so cool. That's cool. Okay, I'm going to turn that on the lights from now on. Okay, that is pretty cool. I like this. I like this thing. All right, so anyway, so getting back to you, Miss McFate, do your research. Just do your research and stuff. And if you could, see if you could find someone close to you that actually own the machine. I'm not sure. No, I think Ozzy has an SK. I think it's an SKW or it's SWI or something like that. I don't know anyone who has that. So I don't know. You would have to see, but just do your research. Just do your research and stuff. And because the thing is you want to make sure it's a lot of money, embroidery machines, and I don't care what brand you go with. Okay? I don't care what brand you go with. They're expensive. So that's why just make sure that you do your research and that it's going to meet your needs. I really don't know anything about that machine and stuff. So I can't tell you one way or another. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't even tell people you got to get a brother. I don't even say that because everybody's needs is different. Everybody's learning curve is different. So I want to make sure that everybody just does the research that they need so that they can get a machine they feel comfortable with. You know what I'm saying? Because that's really, to me, what's all about. It's not about the brand. It's about the equipment that is going to work for you and stuff. That's really, really important. Hey Jackie, how you doing? Let's see. Let's see. I am going down. Hey Kim Cass, how are you doing? Figured out how to sign. I'm all set. Okay, make sure though that you answer to my email and stuff. But I know you're good, Kim. But I gotta do it for everybody, okay? Because I gotta be fair. So I'm gonna be sending you guys probably an email. It's just an email saying hi, welcome to the exchange, and let me know if you have any questions. But that's all it is. And all I want you to do is just respond and stuff like that. So you, Crafty Puerto Rican, everyone else that signed up, make sure you respond and stuff. Oh, how many do you keep in plant? I usually, Becky, what I do is I do buy those in bulk. But what I do is I only usually buy like very common colors, right? I don't go crazy because those heirloom blankets, you can get crazy because they sell them in all different colors. I like the basic colors, and usually what I do is I buy 50 of each, and that's it. And then I don't rebuy until I see that the stash is very low, okay, close to getting sold out. And because I buy those from overseas, I know that it's going to take about probably like a month or 2 months to get to me. So that's usually how I do it. But my number for those blankets are 50 per color. Okay. And because I do sell a lot of those, not just online on my Etsy shop, but locally as well, because those things are big hits for baby showers and all that kind of stuff. So but that's usually how I do it. I just do 50 each color. So it's like 150 blankets. And I have a little space in my basement where I have them stored. And then what I do is I bring 3 of each color upstairs here. And then when I need more, then I just go downstairs. But I keep them organized per color so I could see if if I have a lot of blue, and then if I see that I ran out of a lot of the pinks or the whites, then the next time that I go to do a reorder, then what I do is, I make sure I count how many I need per, so that way I can always make sure I have 50 of each color and stuff. And if I just happen to sell out of one, and then I just sell out of one. There have been times when I have sold out of all whites, and then I say, okay, well, I'm just going to sell the blues and the pinks until I get them a little down, because it costs money. It costs a lot of money to buy those blankets from overseas, because yeah, you get them cheaper, but you have to pay for that shipping from them to here, so that ups the price, right? So when I need to make sure that shipment, I get the best bang for my buck. So I try to get, if I have like 150, so when I start seeing that I'm really low, I'll look for a supplier that will probably sell me 50, and that way it keeps the cost a little low and stuff, or or another 100, and then I just keep to balance it out. So I hope that I hope I didn't confuse you, and it kind of helps a little bit. But anyway, but that's how I do that. When you sell out, gives you an opportunity to order something better. Yes, you had problems with your previous batch. Yes, that is true. That is very, very true. Yeah. So, and sometimes what happens too, is if it sells out, it could be also that it's just that moment, right, where that item's hot, and it might not be hot later on. Okay. I'll give you a perfect example. Easter baskets. Okay. The Easter baskets, I made a mistake on that. Okay. Last year when I was selling the Easter basket and I was personalizing them, what I did was I just bought 5 whites and 5 blues. That's it. Just 10. Very minimal, right? Sold out. Then people would ask, oh, I want to order this and that. So you know what I was doing? I was running to the store. I was telling them, oh, well, let me see. When they would ask me, then I would say, let me see. And then I would go to the store and I would buy the baskets, and then I would bring them back and say, yep, are you interested? I would keep the receipt just in case they didn't want it, then I would take it back. But I kept going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. They sold like hotcakes, made a lot of money off of those Easter baskets. This year, I got a big head. You know what I did? I went over to the 5 and below, and I bought all the blues and all the pinks. And I sat back and said, I know these are going to sell. They did sell, but they didn't sell the same like I sold last year. So now I have extra baskets in my closet. I have about, not a whole lot. I think I have 9 baskets in there, which is still good. Okay. Because I did have a whole lot, but it wasn't a sold out. So I have for next year. So probably what I'll do is I'm going to keep them. And then when Easter comes again in 2026, I'll re-advertise, and I'm just going to sell those 9. That's all I'm going to do. I don't see myself going back there and buying more Easter baskets to embroider and stuff like that. I think what I'm probably going to do is try to get another type of Easter basket. It's kind of tricky. Sometimes it's kind of tricky because sometimes, like I said, you could have something that you think is hot, right? And you think at the moment, oh, this is great. You don't have no idea how many times that's happened to me. I spent all this time creating a new kitchen towel design. I think it's the hottest thing. I love it. I think it's beautiful. And I walk around this house, Fred's laughing at me because I'm going, ooh, sold out, sold out, sold out. This is going to sell out. I don't even sell not one. Not one. So it ends up in my kitchen. And Fred's like, what happened to sold out? I'm like, nothing sold out. This one didn't hit. Then sometimes I will come out with the most simple design. I'm not too crazy about it. I think it's all right. It's cute. It's okay. But I'm not going around the house saying sell out, sell out, sell out. And then guess what happens? People buying them all over the place. It's like everybody wants it. I'm like, what the heck? And to me, it wasn't all that great. So, sometimes it's a hit and miss thing, but so you got to kind of be careful because you don't want to buy so much And then next thing you know, it's just sitting on the shelf and it's staring at you, because then you wasted money. Like right now, I have 9 baskets that I pay $5 for each one. So that's 45 bucks. 45 bucks that are sitting, that's sitting. Is it 45 bucks? You know, my math is so bad. And I wonder, sometimes, I mean, it's like, where's my calculator? Yeah, because I have 9 baskets. Oh my goodness. I don't even know how you work this thing. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Yeah, 45. Okay. Sometimes you have your moments, because I'm up there. Sometimes you have your moments and stuff and everything. It's like my husband was watching a show the other day, and he just cracked up laughing because somebody had asked someone for the date, and the person responded and said, "Oh, don't worry about it. Don't worry about the date. I know it's hard math." And he started laughing. I was like, oh, I could have used that at work. But anyway, yeah, the people would have been mad at me. Hey, Cynthia, how you doing? Happy Memorial's Day. I wish I could find a machine to wow. Yeah, Bob, you have no idea. Me too. I have Googled everywhere how to wind a L style magnetic bobbin. Or just a regular bobbin or something. How can you do that? And I don't. I think we're out of luck on that. I really don't. I'm gonna keep searching. And Bob, if I see something, I'm gonna let you know. I'll let everybody know. But it's like a regular bobbin that has the sides. Yeah. The only, one thing that did kind of pop in my head though is, I don't know if you're aware, but they do sell bobbin that has the paper sides, right? And one of the things that I was thinking about was, could you take one of those bobbins and tear the paper off and then use that on the embroidery machine? But I don't think so. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure, So I don't know. I mean, I wish I could too. I wish I knew how they made it. Maybe that's what we should be doing, is Googling how does industry actually create these L style magnetic bobbins, because what it is was so different about these bobbins. And in case you guys don't know what me and Bob are talking about, let me show you. I'm gonna take one out of my machine here, and I'm gonna show you what he's talking about. Okay, if you have like the SC 1900 or some other sewing machine, you're gonna notice that the bobbin has like a plastic casing on it. Well, our embroidery machines don't use those type of bobbins. What they use is they use these L style bobbins that are sideless. And what they mean is, if you look at it, see, this is a bobbin, and you notice there is no plastic that is on the side of the bobbin, right? If you look on the side of the bobbin, you're going to notice that there is nothing. All it is this middle part right here, which is the core, okay? And this is a magnetic bobbin. As you notice here, it has plastic, and then here it looks a little dark. This is the magnet side. So what's really great about these bobbins is that all you have to do is just take this bobbin, and the magnetic side is what you want to place in here. Okay, so you just drop it in, and because it's magnetic, it kind of like sucks it in a little bit. So I wish, because there was a way that we could create our own bobbins like this, for several reasons. Sometimes you may want your bobbin to be the same color as your top thread. So if we were able to create our own bobbins, we would be able to do that. But these bobbins only come in like 2 colors, which is black and white. They do have some colors that you can buy like in a little small case, and sometimes but they're very subtle. Like sometimes they'll have a red or a blue, a beige, and stuff, but they don't sell them in the bulk, or I haven't seen them. The bulk boxes they have for 100 in a box is for the white and the black only. But if you want these in colors, they kind of sell them in like a little tube in like packs of 20, something like that. So, and they get a little more pricey. But yeah, I wish that I was able to find a way to do that as well, because I there have been times when I kind of wanted to do that and stuff. Hey Joyce, how you doing? Um, hey Cynthia, how are you? Hey B Berman, how are you? How you doing? Um, hey Pete, how you doing? What is their number? I think you are asking about, and we're in Texas. Yeah, Jenny is asking. Hold on, I'm gonna find out for you right now. Hold on, because I know they're in Texas. Okay, so I got my little phone here. So hold on, let me look it up real quick. It's a sewing school, sewing machine repair school, Texas. It's in Texas. Okay. It's in, here it is. It's Sewing Machines Institute. Okay. And it is located in Georgetown, Texas. That's where it's located and stuff. And it's called, and if you Google and you look up Sewing Machines Institute, it is it's a school that you go, and it's hands-on live training where everybody goes in there, and as you can see right here, and they actually show you how to take the machines apart, and here it is. It's that's their thing. It's where, I guess that's where people go when they actually want to learn the trade, so that they can be like repairmen for sewing machines and embroidery machines and stuff. And yeah, it's like it's a 5-day sewing machine training. Become certified. You actually get your certification. Become a certified all brand sewing machine technicians. And it covers lock stitch and overlock stitch machines, so even sergers and stuff like that. Oh, and then they also have embroidery machine training combo and multi needle. Learn to service and repair single needle and multi needle repair machines. 3-day advanced training for technicians and embroiderers. That's the one I want to go to. Okay, so that's the one I'm definitely going to go to. And that's the one that it's in Georgetown, Texas. And, it's, you can just do it yourself and all that stuff. So I am going to be contacting them. Oh, it's weird. They have, oh, okay. I'm sorry. I told you guys wrong. Okay, so it says office address is in Georgetown, Texas. The training center address is 510 South 31st Street, Temple, Texas. And the zip code is 75604. So yeah, so I'm planning on calling them next week. And one of the things that I want to do is I want to find out like how much would it cost for the actual training, and then also their schedule for next year when they plan on hosting that. So that way I can know how much I have to save so that I can make that trip, because the last thing I'm going to do is do any type of debt. I'm not putting myself in debt and stuff like that, because you guys know I'm on a fixed income. Fixed. Okay, so that means I'm really gonna be clipping those coupons. That way, and Robin, thank you for that super chat, because that's going to my little trip to so I'm saving my money, because I have to I really want to learn how to do that. And I figured that would be good because if I learn, then I could even teach you guys and stuff. So that way, if you guys have a hiccup on your machine, you can also do that and stuff like that, so, fix your own stuff. And actually, that was something that was suggested to me from someone in our Facebook group, that they said that that's what they did when they retired and stuff. And now they actually go around and fix their neighbors' sewing machines and all that kind of stuff. So I'm like, that's a really good thing because that way I can learn and, it'll just help me. So I'm pretty excited about that. So yeah. I love learning and I am mechanically inclined. If you want company taking the class, let me know. Oh, Debbie. Oh, yeah. I will definitely let all you guys know when I'm taking that class because I'm going to be really excited about it and stuff. Hey, Letitia, how are you? Oh, hit subscribe, turn on all notifications. Yes, Debbie. Thank you. Oh, Temple's almost 22 hours from Richmond. Okay. They do have prices online. Oh, is it the sewing machine? Yes, that's the one I'm going to. Yes, that's the one that I want to go to. That's in Texas. Airlines make national news when they crash. Cars crash every day, every hour. That's true, Debbie. That is true. That's a local thing. That is true. That is true. So let's just hope that, hey. Let's hope I make it there alive and I come back, because I want to collect a lot of pension checks before I check out. Okay. I want to get them so mad. I want them to say, she's still alive. I'm like, yeah. Let's see. That's what I was thinking. You rocked it, Jeanette, and hope you're able to continue rocking. Oh, thank you. The 12 days of Christmas. Yep. Practice makes perfect. Love Murphy beds. Yeah, this is going to be I never had a Murphy bed before, but someone here suggested it and they were like, get a Murphy bed. And I think they kept saying, would you just get the Murphy bed? And I'm like, okay. So I had someone come, and they measured the room and everything because, you have the ceiling fan. So it kind of like folds. I'll have to videotape when I get it too so that you guys can see it. But I'm pretty excited about it. I chose a twin bed instead of a full-size bed because usually when the people that come is usually my cousin or my mom. So I'm like, but for me, I wanted the bed mostly for my mom because she's, like I said, she's, I want my mom comfortable. I really do. I want my mom to be comfortable when she comes and stuff like that. So that means a lot. Mom doesn't sleep on couches. That's what I said. You and your sister are wonderful daughters, always thinking of your mom. Yeah, we have to. Let me tell you, mom is not quiet. Okay, we got a Puerto Rican mother. So McFake, if you don't take care of mom, she hits you with the chancleta. And for those of you guys that don't know what the chancleta is, that's the slipper. Okay, she's old, but she's fast. She's still too fast. We can't keep up with her. She's a spicy little lady and stuff. So let me tell you the secret. Okay. Me and Nancy are both still scared of that old lady. That's right. That is right. Okay. You always respect your mom because she might be 87, but she could still kick our butts. So when mom calls, we might come on and go, oh, God, she's calling. But then we're like, hi, Mom. Yeah. Okay. And even when she's telling a story and we know she's wrong, it didn't happen that way, okay? But you know what? Me and Nancy is smart. Keep your mouth shut and just agree. Because if you don't, mom's going to get pissed. And if mom gets pissed, you in trouble. And mom doesn't do timeout. So let me tell you, I am scared. I tell people up front, you scared of your mom? Yeah, I am. I'm scared because we grew up old school. There wasn't timeout back then. There was the correa, the belt, and la chancleta, the slipper. And they're quick with that, So, Let us know how you like your Murphy. Been thinking about getting one myself. I will definitely do that, and I will videotape it so that you guys can see it and stuff. So you guys can see how I organize the sewing room with the Murphy bed, so that you can see. Because I know I got a feeling this is going to be a very good solution for a lot of folks too, and stuff. Because what happens is, it is a guest room, but the thing is, I don't really get too many people that visit me all the time, right? But when I do have a visitor come, I want them to be comfortable. But at the same time, I don't want to like be all shrunk up in here doing my embroidery and my sewing when I have a room that's barely being used right across the hall. So I want to be able to utilize that room also and be comfortable. So, you know, it's kind of like a catch-22 where someone gave me the idea of, hey, do the Murphy bed. I'm like, you're right. Let me do the Murphy bed. I mean, that's not a bad idea. And when I looked it up and I Googled it and I looked at it, it was pretty cool. I mean, it goes up against the wall and stuff, and then you just bring it down. So I was just like, let me look into it. So yeah, so I'm getting Closet America is actually the company that's going to do the Murphy bed, because they did my pantry and they also did my my master bedroom walk-in closet. They did a really, really good job. Because they did a really good job on those two projects, and I saw on their website they have Murphy beds as well. Theirs are pretty simple. They're not on the high end side, but I was okay with that. I just wanted simple. I didn't want a big glamorous uh Murphy bed, okay? Because they do a lot. They could put the shelves on the sides and all that kind of stuff and everything. But I didn't want something really like fancy wancy. I just wanted something simple on the wall. That way I could work around it and stuff like that. So we'll see how it comes out and stuff. How did you embroider a golf bag? I have a video on the channel, Marsha, on how to do this. So if you type in embroidering a golf bag, you will see how I actually did that. I have a whole channel. I mean, a whole channel. Oh my God. A whole video on how to do it, start to finish. Okay. On how I actually did the whole process on it. So if you on the channel type in golf bag, and it'll pop up and you'll see the actual golf bag that I did, okay, and how I actually embroidered the pocket of that golf bag, because I did the initials for that golf bag. And then, and if you watch to the end, you'll also see that I not only embroidered the initials on the golf bag. What I did was I got a golf towel, and I embroidered the golf towel with the initials as well. So that way it was like the golf towel and the golf bag. It was a gift for someone's daughter. So that way they had like the golf bag with the matching towel and stuff like that. So there is a video on the channel, Marsha, on how to do that and stuff. So just Google embroidering golf bag on the channel, and it'll pop up and stuff. As a matter of fact, maybe I'll post it. I'll post it on the Facebook group and stuff in case anyone else wants to see that. How you love it? Love it. Oh my goodness. Woo. I mean, tell you, I couldn't retire any sooner. I couldn't. Yep. You saw it. Yep. I did. Yep. I guess I'm right. Oh, I have to rewatch. I've been playing this since the beginning, but I have been running in and out of the room and stuff. Oh, yeah. Mello's birthday. I can't believe he turned 5 years old. Oh my God. I would love to meet you. Oh, yes, pretty eyes. Yes, I will definitely. It would be great. Maybe we can like have lunch together or something. That would be awesome and stuff. So I will definitely be reaching out and stuff. Hey Allison, how are you? You made it. Hey, Miss Trusty, how are you doing? Welcome to the show. Welcome. Is there a way you can keep your chats? I'm almost sure if we rewatch, we don't see these chats. I think you will see, Marsha, the chats if you are watching it on a desktop. If you watch it on like an iPad or on a phone, you're not going to be able to see the chat and stuff. But I do see the chats when I rewatch the videos on a regular laptop or on a desktop. Sometimes it takes a little while for the video to actually process through the YouTube and stuff like that. So just something, if you watch it on a desktop computer or your laptop, you'll be able to see the chat, the replay, because I do click to keep the chats on the replay. Okay. Let's see. Hey, Franconia, how you doing? How are you? Hey, baby giant, how are you? Hey, Embroidery, you got that right. I have 2 questions for you. Okay, do you cover your multi-needles to protect it from dust? Yes. We need special font for 3D. Yes. Okay, yes for both, Franconia. Okay, now the multi-needle machines. Now let me tell you something. Okay, there is something that you can get. Okay, hold on, I got this right here. Yeah. Okay, here we go. All right. Now, when I go on vacation, like when I go now to Florida to visit my mom and my sister and stuff like that, I do have embroidery machine covers, right? So I go ahead and I cover all of my embroidery machines, okay? Because as you can see, I have several of them out here. So what I did was, there is an Etsy shop that actually sells custom covers for these embroidery machines. What you do is you tell her the model that you have, and she will create the cover for the machine that you have. Okay, so when I leave, okay, when I go on vacation, which unfortunately it's not often, but hopefully it will be now. I do cover them with the plastic. All right, when I'm here, because I'm using them all the time. Okay, I'm not going to cover them just for overnight and stuff like that, but you still do get a lot of dust on them. Okay, because you have threads running from those machines, and when you have that thread going, you're going to have a lot of lint. One of the things that I recommend that you get something like this. This is actually a brush that barbers use when they give people haircuts. Okay, it's very soft, very, very soft. So if you go on Amazon and you just Google barber's brush, right? And it's, how like when you see guys, like they're getting their hair cut and everything, and then they got the hair in the back, and then you see the barber goes like this. They have these little brushes and they go like that and everything. That's all this is. What I like about these brushes is they are super soft. So it's not going to damage your machine. So I want to show you what I do with this. Okay, so I'm going to unplug. Let me unplug this, because I want to take you over. I want to take you guys over to the machine. Hold on, let me see. I want to make sure I have enough battery, because I don't want you guys to die on me. Okay, so let me take you up. Okay, so we're going to go over to my machine right now, okay? Because I want you guys to see what I'm going to do with this, all right? And I'm going to put you down here, and you guys can see, okay? All right, and I want to make sure. All right, so you guys see this machine, right? Now I'm going to go grab. Okay, here's the brush. So this brush is super soft. As you can see, the way it flows, it really does go soft. Now this has a lot of dust. A lot of times what happens is the thread, as it's running through the machine, it sometimes releases lint. Okay, so one of the things you want to do is you want to keep the dust from the machine. So what I do is I take this and I just gently go like this on top. Okay, just gently go like this. Don't take this and go like that. Okay, remember, you didn't give anybody a haircut here. Okay, so and you don't want your threads to get all messed up or anything like that. So just gently tap it like this. Okay, and it will remove any of the dust that you have. And you just go down the machine and stuff. And sometimes what I'll do is I'll clean it up on the sides that you have here. Just clean it up on the sides and stuff like that. And that's all you do. Okay. So that is something that, Franconia, that you can use to help clean the machine a little bit to get the dust, because I know they do get dusty. All right. Now, you also said the other question that you had was, we need special font for 3D foam. Yes. The reason is because when you have a plain embroidery file, that that embroidery file is created so that it can embroider on something flat. When you want to embroider and do 3D, okay, you're not embroidering anything flat. What you're doing is you are adding this foam to your material, and the machine is going to be stitching on top of it. So because you have this, okay, this is going to require extra space. So it's going to be too tight. It's not going to look good. You're going to end up, it's going to be really dense. You could end up with a lot of puckering, and it's not. So what's going to happen is, if you want to do 3D embroidery, make sure that the fonts that you buy are for 3D. Okay. And also see if in the description, if it can tell you the type of millimeters you need, because these foams come in different sizes. So you want to make sure that you're using the right size foam for that file. Okay. That's what, it's just something to think about and stuff. So I hope I answered that question and stuff. Because I know that will help a lot of folks and stuff like that. So yeah. So okay. So Franconia, I think you are good to go. Let's see. Couldn't find it. I'll send you an email. Okay. Got some from Amazon. Little polyester, little rough. Okay. All the blanks has great napkins, selling bulk. That is true. Michael, yeah, but it is, I think that's the name of the Etsy shop, Debbie, but I will put that on there and stuff. Okay. So, hey, Susan, how you doing? Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. And Robin, thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate that. Hey, Angela and Stitches, you retired in 2023. I find my days fly by. Might be because sometimes I take a nap during the day. You know what? I mean, I have not had the opportunity to take a nap because I have been working, but I think I might do that. I'm going to incorporate at least a hour nap and stuff, because now I have time. I have extra time. You guys have no idea how rough it was. I mean, there were times that I showed up at work and I only had like 1 hour of sleep because I had to get these orders out. Had to. But thankfully, my son did step in a little bit, and there were times when he saw how exhausted I was, and he was like, "Ma, I got it." He helped me, so I was like, "Phew." I saw your Etsy ads with the big W, beautiful. Oh, thank you. Let me see. All about blanks. If you scroll down to the bottom, there's a wholesale options for businesses. Okay. You have to sew or embroider on a machine. Different machines require different brains. That is very, very true. Someone from this group does mama applique and cuts the fabric on Cricut, or is there some tutorial on how I can do this? There are tutorials out there that can do that. I sometimes do that as well. You can use your Cricut machine in order to pre-cut your fabric for applique. However, though, you really have to know how to properly cut those the fabric, and then you have to make sure that you properly position the fabric on the actual blank when you are embroidering, because if not, what can happen is you can stitch down on some of the fabric and then the other. Personally, Frank Neil, when I do applique, I always hand cut. I feel that that is a sure way of making sure that your fabric is not going to fall short on during the tack down stitch. Okay, because there's 3 stitches. Okay, with applique, you got the placement, you got the tack down, and then you got the end stitch, which is the satin stitch or the zigzag stitch or whatever style you're using. Okay, so you want to make sure that the fabric is going to be caught when you do your tack down stitch, right? But sometimes what happens, if you don't put it correctly on the item and you start the tack down stitch, you can end up with a mess. I don't like to chance it because sometimes you can accidentally pre-cut the fabric a little bit too small. So I don't chance it. I do it by hand. I know it takes a longer time to do it that way, but if you know what you're doing, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. But there is a way to do that. A body group. Yep, there you go. I would recommend searching the body group and stuff. Body is good. I know a couple of local embroiders near me using them. Amazon sells them with white gloves for less than $6,000. Jeanette does a great job on the baby blankets too. Oh, thank you. If you buy a multi-needle machine, look to find out the warranty and lessons. Don't buy. It seems to be too good to be true. Yep. What's really important, guys, is when you are spending that amount of money on a machine, you want to make sure that it's a machine that you know how to work and you can understand it, and you're going to get the support that you need if something happens. Remember, it's a machine. It's like buying a car. It's going to require maintenance. Sometimes they break down. That's the whole reason why I want to go to that school, because I want to know how to repair my machine when there's a breakdown. Okay. I mean, everything's going to have, it's not going to last forever. You know what I'm saying? Everything has a lifespan. So you want to make sure that you're good with that. Oh, and look at that. Pretty Eye says she has a Buyer Mirror 1501. Love it. There is a learning curve, as with all machines, and there's plenty of support online and through the buyer support team. There you go. Oh, Pretty Eyes, maybe I can see your machine when I go to Florida. I would love to see that. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's see. Becky, I sell the heirloom blankets very well at the gift shop and baby gift baskets. I have been waiting since January for an order. Had to cancel because of the shipper. Reordered. Hope to be here in June. That is the only downfall. What Becky is describing, that is the only downfall, especially with all the stuff that we got going on right now with the tariffs and all that kind of stuff and everything. The shipping from China to here is kind of like rough. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I did buy a little bit more of the baby blankets before all of this fiasco started taking place, because I already knew that something was going to happen and I didn't want that messing up the business on my side. And because I know that the baby blankets are a really good hot seller, I didn't want to run out of it and stuff. So I don't sell the blanks because I need them for me and my business. But the thing is, but I always tell people the best place to get those blankets is from overseas. If this is something that you're going to be selling as part of your business, try to buy those items from bulk. I know that some of you guys reach out to me and say, hey, Jeanette, can you sell me 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever? If you are selling them, buy them by bulk. Trust me, these are really good sales. I don't think they're gonna be, on the shelf. Or this is another idea, guys. This is another idea I have for you. Okay. Sometimes what happens is people come together and they do a huge bulk buy, right? So it's like I want, like, let's say I only want 20, someone else wants 20, another person wants 20, another person wants 20. They say, okay, we're going to do a big, huge bulk buy, get it all shipped, and then we divide it. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes people do that. And if you think about it, they ain't no different than selling blanks. Okay. I mean, if you look at any blank business, what they do is they go overseas and they buy about like 500, 600 shirts or blankets or onesies or whatever, right? And then they have them all shipped here, and then they just Send it out. That's why you see a lot of times people do the pre-sales, right? Those pre-sales, it's because they're like, okay, I want to collect the pre-sales, so I already know when I place the order, these are already in reserve. So I'll go and I'll send them to the customer and stuff like that. But the thing is, to do all that, to me, it's like, it's a lot of work, and it's like you need the space and all that stuff. I just don't want to do all that stuff. It's not my thing. My thing is embroidery. I want to play with the machines. I'm a machinist, okay? So I want to design, I want to stitch out, and do the end product. That's all I want to do. Okay. And I want to fix the machine if it breaks. That's why I need to go. I got to get down to Texas and do my thing. You could use those baskets to make baby. Yep, definitely. Definitely. Farmer markets sell them also. Make samples, post on Etsy for a minute, shower gifts and unexpected adoptions, etc. There you go. There you go. Can you name the Etsy shop? The HR Craft for dinner napkins. I think it's shoot. I have to post. I will post, Miss Rivera. I will post the Etsy shop on the Facebook group of the one where I buy the dinner napkins from. Okay, I know that I do have the link of the video where I did the dinner napkins. So if you do a search on the YouTube channel, searching for bulk wedding dinner napkins, you will see the video, and then on that video, I know I have the link there. Okay, but I don't have it on top of my head right now. They use a plastic snap on the guide as a winding bobbin to create those Elsa. Then I have to check that out, because I got to figure that out and stuff. I would like to know about winding our own L-shaped bobbin. I want to use 10 needles to quilt and use the color that gonna have to let me know when you're going training in Texas. Can't find anyone come to my house. Let me see. I used to live paycheck to paycheck. Now I live direct deposit to direct deposit. Well, that's gonna be me. They do. They Parts Online, they do sell it, but I don't think they sell it in the bulk boxes. That's what I mean. It's like oh, there you go. You found the price. They're about look at that. That's expensive. That's a lot of money. 3,800. That's why I'm like, I'm gonna go over there with my notebook and my pen. I'm gonna be taking notes like crazy. Okay. But yeah, that is what I am planning on doing. I know it's a very expensive class, but I did speak to like 2 people that had gone, and they said it was worth every penny. Every penny. So that is my goal. If mama's not happy, not everybody's happy. That is so true. Yes, and that is exactly where I get my bobbins from. Had, and you say and, but it's actually a plus sign dash. And that is where I get my bobbins. The only thing is you have to have a business, and you have to create a business account with them. And then once you have that, then they have the best prices. But they also have colors. I didn't know that. Okay, I'm going to have to I haven't been to their site, Sean. I have not been to their site in so long, because after I had that Christmas where I ran out of bobbins, I never wanted to experience that again. I went on Hat Plus Dash, and I bought like 20 boxes of white bobbin thread, because I was like, that was never going to happen to me again. And I still have plenty of bobbins, but I'm going to check out their site, and I'm going to see if they have the colors and if they sell them in bulk and stuff like that. But thanks for letting me know. I did not even think about that, because every time I go there, I go straight for the white and stuff. Oh, okay. So I'm getting Closet of America to do mine and stuff. Let's see. Hey, Robin. Good night. Have a good one. Enjoy your Memorial Day weekend. Oh, Miss Shauna, thank you so much for the super sticker. I appreciate that. Thank you. Little step closer to Texas. A little step closer. 10 years ago, I met and took a 10 needle class from a woman that embroidered President Trump's golf carts. Oh, that must have been cool. That must have been super cool and stuff. And I actually do a lot of the embroidery for a lot of the golfers here where I live, because I live in a golfing community. We have our own golf course, and I have a lot of golfers that come to me with their golf towels. They come with their golf bags, and I've done their hats and stuff, their jackets, their polos and stuff. So yeah, and it's pretty good. It's good money on that and stuff. Um, Good night, Jenny. Good night. Is it late? What time? Oh my goodness, guys, it's 10:30. I'm still talking. Oh my God. All right, I am gonna say good night to you guys. Hey, Miss Miller, how are you? How you doing? Neck duster. There you go. Yes, neck duster. There you go. But those make great to fix the machine. Okay. I was thinking she was leaving me. You all have a great day. Oh, okay. Hey, Jenny, love this channel. I learned something. Jeanette, this awesome career. Oh, thank you, Jenny. I appreciate it. Okay, guys. Well, I am. Oh, there you go. Tina said, Jeanette, you can learn to fix machines. And then when you're working for Liz, which let me tell you something, Tina, I went on the Liz website because I was looking for a job. Okay. Because I wanted to really learn how to do those hats. They're not hiring. They are like full. So, but I'm going to keep looking and keep watching, okay? Because I'm telling you, if I get a job at Liz, y'all are gonna crack up. Y'all gonna be like, I can't believe Jeanette working at Liz. I'll be like, that's right, I'm embroidering these hats. And you can charge them to do their machines, save you money teaching the classes in your trips. I know. I thought about that too. So, guys, I am going to call it the night. And hopefully you guys can join my sister on her channel tomorrow for Crafternoon at Gifts HQ. I know I will be there and stuff. You guys have a great night. As always, thank you so much for your support. Thanks for tuning in and stuff. And I will see you guys next Friday. Because remember, next Friday, we're going to be talking about scrap fabrics, okay, and the different things we can do with embroidery, sewing, and all that kind of stuff, because I got a whole bunch of fabrics out here, especially scrap fabrics, and I want to be able to use them all. So yeah, that's going to be our topic for next Friday. And again, if you're interested in the gift exchange, please go to the in the Facebook group, register. Registration is going to be closed on within a week, and then we're going to start rocking and rolling and making those gifts and mailing them out. So guys, you guys have a great Memorial Day weekend. Please be safe, and happy sewing and happy embroidering. Have a good night, everyone, and thanks so much for the support. Appreciate it. See you soon. Oh my goodness, I'm not talking very good today, but I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Good one.